Good morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Dhakal. The top stories first. Prohibitory order in Kathmandu Valley extended by one more week. Groceries and stationery shops to open till 11 a.m. from today. Targeted group unable to benefit from government's vaccination drive. Young people try to get the shots meant for the elderly. Daily infection of coronavirus drops to 1,694. Number of active cases also decline in the country. Bennett sworn in as Israel's new Prime Minister. Israel welcomes a new Prime Minister in more than a decade. And England kick off Euro 2020 with a 1-0 win over Croatia. Brazil begin their title defense with a win in Copa America. And now the news in detail. The prohibitory order in the Kathmandu Valley has been extended by one more week. The restrictions have been eased from today but will remain in force until June 21st. A joint meeting of the Chief District Officers of Kathmandu, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur took a decision to this effect yesterday. During the prohibitory order, people's mobility will be restricted unless necessary. Time duration to open groceries and other shops has been extended until 11 in the morning. During the prohibitory order, vegetable and meat shops, groceries, dairy, stores selling drinking water and cooking gas, and departmental stores will be allowed to open till 11 a.m. Vehicles supplying goods are allowed to run between 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Likewise, stationery shops and printing press will remain open until 11 a.m. Shops selling construction materials and electricity shops are allowed to open after 4 p.m. Online marketing and home delivery service will remain open until 7 p.m. Vehicle repairing services will be allowed until 9 p.m. Banks and financial institutions will continue their business by mobilizing a limited number of human resources. The targeted group has not been able to benefit from the government's vaccination drive due to the weak management of the Ministry of Health and Population. The government had started administering 1 million doses of coronavirus vaccine brought from China to people of age group 60 to 64 on June 8th. However, the targeted group has not been able to benefit from the scheme as the vaccination drive was disrupted in many places. The elderly people were deprived of the vaccine in many places after young people started taking those vaccines due to their political influence. This resulted in the postponement of the vaccination drive in certain areas. Joint spokesperson for the Ministry of Health and Population, Samir Adhikari, admitted that the vaccination drive had to be postponed because people of other age groups attempted to get the shots. He urged the public to support the government's campaign, saying that everyone will get their turn after the targeted group receives the vaccine. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 1,694 new cases of coronavirus across the country. A report.
The total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 608,472, while the number of active cases has dropped to 68,955. The number of active cases was 71,301 a day ago. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 531,105 infected persons have tested negative for the disease in the country following the recovery of 3,994 patients yesterday. Coronavirus claimed 46 more lives across the country, taking the death toll to 8,412. Nepal is currently among top 40 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 34.32 million confirmed cases, followed by India with more than 29.5 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 176.7 million people across the world and claimed over 3.81 million lives.
And now the news from the economic front. The policy and program of the Lumbini state government for the fiscal year 2078-79 BS has been passed by a majority. The policy and program was passed by the majority after Speaker Purna Bahadur Gharti presented the decision. Earlier, Chief Minister Sankar Pokhrel had submitted a proposal to the State Assembly to pass the policy and program for the fiscal year 2078-79. Responding to the questions raised about the policy and programs, Chief Minister Pokhrel said that the decision of the majority was not accepted by the State Assembly and expressed his displeasure over the implementation of the law. Stating that the CPN-UML has 39 members and the Janata Samajwadi Party has 6, he accused the Secretariat of the State Assembly of not being clear about the Janata Samajwadi Party. Stating that the state government has made significant achievements in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic, he clarified that the issue of vaccine management needs to be sorted out by the federal government. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. Benjamin Netanyahu has lost his 12-year-old hold on power in Israel after its parliament voted in a new coalition government. Right-wing nationalist Naftali Bennett has been sworn in as a prime minister leading a government of change. He will lead an unprecedented coalition of parties which was approved with a razor-thin majority of 60-59. Bennett will be prime minister until September 2023 as part of a power-sharing deal. Netanyahu, Israel's longest-serving leader, has dominated its political landscape for years, will remain head of the right-wing Likud party and become leader of the opposition. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. England began its European Championship campaign with a win over Croatia. It is the first time England has won their opening game at the tournament. Raheem Sterling scored the only goal in front of 22,500 fans at Wembley after being set up by Leeds midfielder Calvin Phillips. The win gives the Three Lions the much-needed confidence in a major tournament. In other matches, the Netherlands defeated Ukraine by 3-2 in a high-octane battle at the Ajax Amsterdam Arena. Goals were scored by Gini Wijnaldum and Wout Weghorst to give the Dutch a 2-0 lead before Andrei Yarmolenko and Roman Yaremchuk got the Ukrainians back level. The tie was settled by Denzel Dumfries in the 85th minute to give his side all 3 points. In another Group C match, Austria defeated North Macedonia by 3-1 to jump up to the top of the table. Elsewhere, host Brazil began their defense of Copa America title with a comfortable victory over a COVID-affected Venezuela in the tournament's opening match. Talisman Neymar scored one and assisted another, adding a second for his side with a second-half penalty before setting up Gabriel Barbosa late on. Paris Saint-Germain defender Marquinhos bundled in a 23rd-minute opener after Venezuela failed to clear a corner. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Prohibitory order in Kathmandu Valley extended by 1 more week. Groceries and stationery shops to open till 11 a.m. from today. Targeted groups unable to benefit from government's vaccination drive. Young people try to get the shots meant for the elderly. Daily infection of coronavirus drops to 1,694 cases. Number of active cases also decline in the country. Bennett sworn in as Israel's new Prime Minister. Israel welcomes a new Prime Minister in more than a decade. And England kick off Euro 2020 with a 1-0 win over Croatia. Brazil begin their title defense with a win in Copa America. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website, janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.